Hello everyone, this is Kelly Berry with MarineMax, and today I'm going to show you how to upload videos not only to YouTube but also onto BoatWizard. So as you can see here, this is the MarineMax YouTube channel, and the first thing we need to do before we actually upload to YouTube, if you're not currently in the YouTube system as a manager, is I need to add you as a manager. So I'll be providing you some instructions and a link to actually create a Gmail account using your first name dot your last name at marinemax.com. So once you do that, I'll then send you an invite, and you accept the invite and you're in. So here is the channel, and just a couple things before we get started is just be a little careful when you're in here, because when I provide access to you, you actually have access to our entire YouTube channel. Unfortunately, that's the only way we can make this work at this current time in April of 2018. Hopefully they update that in the future where we can have different types of privileges, but right now that's the current way that this works. So when you get manager access, you have access to everything. But all we really need you to focus on if you're going to be uploading videos is the actual uploading of the videos, and that's what we'll talk about today. So let's get into it. So up here, this is a new icon for YouTube, but this is what you're going to be using to upload videos to the YouTube channel. And if you click that, it says create a video or post. You have three options actually. We don't need to do anything with go live or create post. All we're going to do is upload videos. So you click on that and you will be sent to this page. And this is the page where you go to find the files that you want to upload. So you can either click there and it'll bring up your Finder, or in most cases, if you're using a PC, the Explorer on your PC and Windows. And then you just need to find where the file is. I always just like to actually go to my Explorer or Finder and find the file that I want to upload. For this particular example, we're actually going to use a video that's already been uploaded, but I'm just going to do it again because it's just to show for demonstration purposes. So here we have a video of a 2018 Sea Ray SDX at MarineMax Clearwater. The stock number for that video is 143004. So what I need to do here is take the video and just drag it over into here. And as you can see, it's uploading. And again, I could have just clicked on there and then found the file, but I always just like dragging and dropping. For my workflow, it's always better, but it's up to you. So as you see up here, it's processing. So this is gonna depend on your internet connection. Mine's going pretty quick, but again, if you have a long video, a high-res video, there's a lot of different factors that go into how quickly your videos upload. So in this area, this is where we create our title for the video. And we know from going to the actual listing itself, and don't mind this video, let's just pretend that there's no video uploaded yet. So this is what you would normally see, just a picture. But once the video is uploaded, you'll see an actual play button as the first image. So what we need to do here is, this is the proper practice to get your videos uploaded. You want to make sure that all these different things here are filled out before you click this publish button. It defaults to public, but before you click publish, you want to make sure that all this information is in here. So I say that because if people have notifications turned on their phone, on their tablets, on their computers, it actually, if you click publish and it's public, and this is just some, 5684.mp4, which is like a lot of times when you, create videos, you just have a random name that goes in there. So if you click publish, people are just going to see this. They're going to see this crummy picture here, and they're also just going to see whatever is the title of the video. So we want to make sure before you click publish, and it's very important, and before it's public, this is going to default to public, but don't click publish until you actually have your video ready with a proper image, thumbnail, and a proper title. And I'm going to show you how you get that. So this is taking a while because I'm just kind of walking you through it, but once you do a couple of these, you're going to be done with all of this stuff within 5 minutes at the most. Obviously depending on your internet connection, but you can just leave that sit in the background as you work and just do other things while it's uploading. So what you need to do is, in this case it's 2018 Sea Ray SDX 250. I'm going to take that and copy it, Control C, or you can of course right click and do copy, and I'm going to put that into my title. So you have 2018 Sea Ray SDX 250, and somebody in the past, there's been an OB. We don't want to say OB, we just want to say outboard, but that's for a different day. So 2018 Sea Ray SDX 250, what I do is if it's anything under 50 feet, so if it's anything that's not a yacht, I say boat for sale. In the 40 to 50 foot area, you can have the sport yacht description as well. And that actually is probably a pretty good idea, but for this boat in particular, I'm going to say boat. So 2018 Sea Ray SDX 250, boat for sale. And what I do is, depending on what store you're at, I say whatever the store is. So in this case, MarineMax Clearwater. So I say boat for sale at MarineMax Clearwater. And again, this is important too, is look at how I capitalize things. This looks proper. A lot of times I'll see somebody just kind of go boat for sale at, or sometimes I've even seen, at MarineMax. That makes us look like we're not professionals, and we want to look like professionals. So of course in a MarineMax, I've seen this before too, where it's MarineMax Clearwater. That's wrong too. Always capitalize the M, so it's capital M at the beginning for Marine and capital M for Max. So we have 2018 Sea Ray SDX 250. We're going to just change that again. So boat for sale. And I keep at lowercase just because it's kind of not needed to be uppercase for this. And this looks clean. 2018 Sea Ray SDX 250 boat for sale at MarineMax Clearwater. That tells you what year it is, what boat it is, that it's for sale, and then it's for sale at MarineMax Clearwater. So there's a lot of benefits to that, including keywords and just seeing it, and it's concise and it's easy to read. So people will know exactly what this video is going to be about when they see that title. So in the description area, which is right below that, I always go down to the summary. Not all new boats are going to have a summary, which is kind of unfortunate. And if that's the case, and there's not a summary of the boat that you're trying to upload, what I do is I actually just go to Sea Ray. Or if it's a Boston Whaler, I'll go to Boston Whaler's website and you look up what the boat is. So SDX 250, I can find the SDX 250, boom, right there. And there's usually some sort of write-up. So I can just grab this, copy that, and then I can paste that into this area. But most of the time you won't even need to do that. You can actually just get it directly from the summary on our website, and that's what I recommend for the most part. So I copy that, Control C or right click and copy, and then Control V, and then I press enter a few times because I have all this default copy that goes into it as well. You always want to make sure that this looks good as well, and I just press enter a couple times, or instead of doing that, you can press enter a couple times before you even copy it into it, and then you just press Control V, and there you go. What I also do in this description area is I actually copy the URL, which is the little code up here. I copy that, and because I want to link back to this boat as much as possible. The more links you can put in your videos, the more opportunity you have for customers to find your listings. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm just doing these videos to put them on the listings. 95% of the people that see these videos aren't even going to be on MarineMax.com. 95% of the people are actually just going to be on YouTube or other affiliates. So they're not even going to be able to see it, and we want to make sure that they find it. So that's why we put the links in. And what I do is click here to learn more. Or you can say click here to see this listing. And that's what I recommend, because again, we just want to make this as easy as possible for a customer to know what they're getting into. So by saying click here to see this listing, and then you paste in the link. It doesn't look the best, but people will understand that this is a link to the boat for sale. So click here to see this listing. I have my description. All this other stuff is defaulted down here, so that's good to go. Next up, I'm going to kind of just go down, and you're not going to see some of these little things because I have a plugin on my computer that helps with this stuff because I do so many uploads. But most of this is all the same, including this area, which is also extremely important. So you have a good title. You have I recommend that this is kind of like a checklist for you every time you upload a video. Is good title, good description. Here we have keywords. And keywords are important because if there's certain keywords people are typing in that you think that they would be needing to find your listing, it's important to get those in here. So there's a lot of default keywords, but in this case, and for your listings and for your store and for your team members, I definitely recommend putting in a bunch of keywords that are gonna, help in finding your boat or your video. So in this case, I would do Sea Ray. I would do SDX. I would do, let's see, Clearwater, Florida, boat. I could do Florida boat for sale. I could do, this isn't an outboard, so it's an inboard. And if it's an outboard, say outboard. This one is kind of random, but inshore. And just kind of like think of things in your area. So St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay. So certain things that you think people would be searching for or using as keywords to find your boat. So a lot of these are good, people if they're looking for Sea Ray, if they're looking for SDX. Clearwater, we could even do Sun Deck because a lot of people know the Sun Deck name even though they don't use the name Sun Deck anymore. Not Sun Deck. DECK, Sun Deck. You could even do SLX, Sundancer, just because a lot of the times, maybe they're looking for a Sundancer, but your video pops up and they're like, oh, yeah, maybe I'd rather have a boat like that. So just little things like that really go a long way. And this is a cool thing here, and again, this is my plugin that I have, but it shows all the different things that really contribute to getting your videos found. And a lot of this stuff goes over the same things that I'm talking about today. It says write a compelling title, enter a complete description, add descriptive tags, create a custom thumbnail, and that's what we're going to do next, is add a custom thumbnail. And so you can see right here that this is the default thumbnail that they're going to put on the video if I just click publish. And again, don't click publish until you have a good thumbnail and a good title, because if you click publish, people are going to see it as is. And if it has a crappy title or a crappy thumbnail, that's what everybody's going to see. And that's 16,000 plus people are going to possibly see that title and that image. So again, we're changing this because that's probably not the best image. So what we can do is go down to the bottom, and YouTube actually creates 3 different examples here. So you can see this one, this one, and this one. And I believe it's just kind of random. They just choose 3 different images. And to be honest, I don't like any of these. I think that they're all not that great. The video's great, but the images that they're showing isn't going to compel me as a customer to click on any of them to watch the video. So we want them to click to watch the video. So what you do is go back to the listing again, and most of the time, if it's been done right, is you actually have proper images of the listing already on the listing. So you can go here, and for all the PC users out there, you can use a program called Snipping Tool. And all you need to do is just search for it on your computer. It's just Snipping Tool, and if you don't know where to find it, just Google it. You'll see exactly what it is, and you can get screen captures directly out of it. So what I recommend is doing Snipping Tool, and then from Snipping Tool, you can actually just screen capture this area. And I recommend that because there's a 2 megabyte maximum on your images for this. So I'm just gonna screen capture. This is a good picture of the boat, so I'm gonna screen capture that boat like, I don't want those arrows in there, so like that. So what I get then is I get a good image of the boat, and now that is much more worthy of clickbait in clickable image that we'd want to promote the boat on YouTube. So there we go. I found my image that goes to the desktop, and I believe on Snipping Tool you can decide where you want it to go. I always just choose the desktop because it's easy to find. Click open, and there we go. So it has updated my image to a proper, really good looking picture of this boat. So here we go. We have the title, we have a good description, we have a lot of good keywords, we have a great image of the boat, and all we really need to do now is add to a playlist. So in this case, for this boat, it's at MarineMax Clearwater, so I can do just kind of search for it, and there's a MarineMax Clearwater playlist. Can do that. And then all I need to do, if I check that everything is looking good, is click publish. But again, I already have a video on YouTube, or they've created a video on YouTube of this boat, so I don't want to do that. But you just leave it as public, and then you click publish. And then what you can do from there, so it's basically, if you click publish, then it's off to the races. It's public online. But you're not done yet. So don't take a break. I recommend just getting each listing done as you're sitting in front of it, because you're going to forget about certain things if you go back to it later. And I get that a lot. A lot of people are like, oh, I just haven't finished it, when I see that there's some issues with some of the listing videos. So from here, it's published. What I do now, and I don't know why you have to do this, but you do. So you go click on this thing here, which is the logo, and go to Creator Studio. And here's your video. This is the one that was just created. So I click Edit, and it brings up this whole area, and it looks very similar to where we just were, but it allows me to do something that is probably the most important, other than the links down here, is cards. So cards are what YouTube uses to create links to different places. And in our case, we want to link back to MarineMax.com and link back to the listing. So I'm sure you've probably been on YouTube and you see these little pop-ups in the top right-hand corner for different things. Those are cards. So what we want to do is create a card that links back to our listing. So I'm going to go back to the listing. I'm going to copy it, or Control-C, and in the video, it shows this timeline. So the video I uploaded is 2 minutes and 57 seconds, which is actually about the perfect amount of time you want for your videos. And you can choose exactly where on that timeline people are going to get this little pop-up that says, you know, click here to see this listing. I recommend you do one at around 15 seconds. So from here, I'm going to click Add Card, and you get a bunch of different options. And you can, to be honest, you can kind of play around with these, but I always recommend you link back to the listing. So that's always the first one. So you go down to link, click Create, and then you just paste in that link that you just copied over from the listing. Click Next. And it gives you like a little thing here, a little description of whatever it is. And to be honest, I mean, in this situation, I think it looks pretty good. You might even, it has a character limit, but let's see, for sale. So I just add for sale. And then I can call to action, I do click here. And you can get creative with these too. I mean, say whatever you want as long as it's appropriate, but I always just do click here and then click here to see this listing. Right there. Has a cool picture of the boat, has a good description. Click here to see this listing. Click create card, and boom, that one's done. So I want to have two though, because you get some space, and I want to, in case for whatever reason they like the video but they don't want that boat, what I do is I go to find a boat, and it auto populates this extra code because it's finding where we are. But what I always do is just copy this part, which is the find a boat. So I want to give customers the potential chance to, if they're not interested in that boat, they could possibly find another boat. So click add card again, click link, paste that link right into there, and there we go. And it defaults to this picture of like literally the biggest boat we have in stock, or we just have for sale. But you can you know, whatever picture you want, you can use. It gives you a bunch of different examples, but if you want to even find, you know, a smaller boat or something like that, you can go back to find a boat, click on something like this 38 Outrage, you know, screen capture that and use that for the picture. But for this, I'm just gonna use that default. I believe that's a azimuth 35 meter or something like that, something huge. But so for the card title, what I would do here is what I kind of have a default for this. I just do this: MarineMax new and used boats in service. So it tells people that we have new and used boats and we have service. And again, I just do click here. And for teaser text, I do click here to learn more, or click here for boat listings. Again, if you want to promote, just we're showing you the listings, you can go click here for boat listings. And these little things aren't going to be dropped down for you. It's just because I use this so many times, I have a bunch of different ones. But there you go. So I click create card, and that's it. So now I have my first card for the listing itself and the second card for just find a boat. So I go click on there, and this is actually pretty important too, is you have to make sure you're using the right link to link this to BoatWizard. So I always recommend just going back to Creator Studio, click on Video Manager, and find the listing video that you just created. In this case, it's this one. And then click here. And I know it's a lot of clicks. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. And it goes pretty quick if you know what you're doing. So I copy this URL right up here, and I go over to BoatWizard, and I type in the boat. So for this one, I'm already on the listing, but all you need to do is type in whatever the listing number it is. So, you know, if it's 120154, you type that in, click go, and then you go basically to this page. And what you do is you just click down to photos and videos, and you go down to videos. So down here it says videos, click add video. You have to link to YouTube. A lot of people think that you can just upload a video directly to BoatWizard, but unfortunately it needs to go through YouTube. So you can try as hard as you want to use this upload a video, but it just doesn't work. So make sure you use link to YouTube. And for some reason it doesn't really drop down too far. It's kind of clunky, but all you need to do, don't worry about the description or the title. Just go straight down to that YouTube URL, paste in that YouTube URL that you got again from the listing itself, the video. Paste that in there, click save, and I always do click save, and then I do click finish. So I know for sure that that video is now on that listing. And it shows, you go back to photos and videos, and here you go. You got the owner video. It's good to go. So that's kind of a long tutorial on how this works, but be sure to use those best practices, because adding the links, one last thing actually, I didn't talk about this, is what I also recommend, and this is something that just recently started, is using that click here to see this listing. I'll take this, copy that, and what you can do is directly on the video itself, you go down to the comments area and you paste in this comment as the first comment. Click comment. So like if that's like basically where usually customers or the public can add comments, but what you can do is you can pin the comment to the top. Click pin. So now anytime somebody scrolls down to the comments section, which a lot of people love to see the comments, you know, a lot of times you watch a video, you go down to read the comments to see what people say. You have the opportunity, the first thing they're going to see is a link to that listing. So you got a link to the listing and the cards, and these are what the cards look like. You have a link to the listing and the cards, and again, this is the actual listing, and this is just find a boat. You have a link to the listing down here in the description, and you have a link to the listing down here down below. So that's 3 opportunities for customers to possibly click on your listings, and if they like what they see, they could give you a call, they could fill out a lead form, they could even walk right into the store and say, I saw your video, I'm interested in that boat. So really exciting and really powerful stuff. And the best part is the only thing it costs is your time. So once you get this down to a science and do a few, this uploading stuff is really quick. It's not a problem, and you're going to have a great opportunity to, as I always say, get more lines in the water. So if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me. Again, my name is Kelly Berry in the marketing department, and I'll be sure to help you out. Thank you very much.